Yes, mate, we are currently 13 weeks booze free. I was about to say 12, but we're a week on from my last video. And what I wanted to talk about was what happens when you stop drinking. Because everybody definitely thinks that giving up alcohol solves all your problems. I see this all the time. I just need to stop drinking. And that's what I thought. And yes, it does make a lot of things easier. However, what a lot of people don't realise is that when you remove alcohol, you remove probably what is a big cope mechanism for a lot of people. And what goes with that is a lot of challenges that people probably don't realise. And I've definitely encountered a few. Firstly, the biggest positives, right, are I would say that I've never had more direction in my life. I've never had more clarity in terms of I went back and forth with a business idea for a long time. Pretty much quite quickly when I stopped drinking, I had the clarity, I had the mental headspace to go, that's the direction I want to go. I need to follow this. This is what I want to do. This is my passion. This is what I feel like I was meant to do. Follow it. I've never had more clarity around who I am as a person, what's important to me. I have energy, miles more energy, which has been amazing. In terms of training, it's allowed me to enjoy training again. It's allowed me to lose weight. So there's a huge amount of benefits. But there's also some negatives that go with that. And one of the big things that I noticed was how it showed up in my relationship. So obviously when me and Shannon met, I was doing a year off the booze. So we navigated that first year, which was pretty much just by keeping busy. We'd just met, you know what it's like, the honeymoon phase, everything is amazing. You would probably eat each other's shit if it was on the floor. But then that phase ends, and what we noticed, we went through a phase where we kind of get into drink wine, spoke about this a lot. We started enjoying food and wine, which is dynamite. If you're somebody that enjoys food and wine, fair play to you, I love it as well. But what started to happen was there started to be a lot of negative consequences. So I was like, something needs to shift here. And when we took away alcohol this time, what I started to notice was that alcohol actually covered up a lot of cracks that were potentially there in our relationship. Not in the sense that we didn't get on, but it was something that we used to connect, and quite often it was something that we used to repair whenever we argued. But the problem was, right, we didn't actually repair arguments. What we did was just kind of skirt around them. And what we realised is that taking alcohol away has meant that we've almost had to face each other, in the sense of you can't hide anymore. We've spoke a lot about wanting to create a healthy dynamic for Arlo. And when we took alcohol away, we were like, and we spoke about things like potentially going for like couples counselling, something like that before. And when we took it away, we realised that when we never had alcohol as a thing to go at the weekend, it's like, let's go for food and wine. And what would happen is we'd go for food and wine, we'd kind of forget what happened, but nothing would really ever get sorted. So there was always just stuff brewing in the background. And we would always have these wee stupid disagreements. And for us, the big thing was like, we do not want Arlo to be seeing this. This is not the way we want to bring him up. We don't want him to see wee bickering matches, arguments, all these things. So we were like, right, cool, we need to sort this. And this has been the biggest challenge, because we realised that we probably couldn't navigate conflict the way we wanted, as in we never really listened to each other, either ways. We would just blame each other for how we felt, which was never a good dynamic. Throw a kid into the mix and that get even worse. We realised that we never really repaired any arguments. As a result, we just kept arguing with each other. It was just something that fizzled away in the background. We probably at times didn't actually know how to connect with each other with alcohol. And this brings me on to my next point. It's forced me to have to look at potential insecurities you have around relationships. Like, see, in terms of actually being open, being honest, being, would I say, nice to people? And I don't mean that in the way it sounds. I mean in terms of like actually being able to say nice things. I've had to learn. Like, I had a big tendency to shut down, to pretend everything was alright, to act like I wasn't annoyed, whereas deep inside I would be annoyed and it would just brew underneath. So I've had to learn to start to be able to express like how I actually feel. I've had to learn how to listen to Shannon without jumping in, butting in, getting defensive. And this has been a huge learning curve, because previously it was very easy for us just to hide that behind, let's go for wine, let's go for food and wine. Because what I realised was that, see, whenever I had a few wines, it was very easy to be nice to Shannon. It was very easy to say nice things to her. It was very easy to essentially have that reconnect, but the problem was, see, when you can't do it when you're sober, it just becomes this weird thing that nobody really trusts it. It never actually lands, and you've just got this kind of relationship that is just built on, it's almost superficial. And I think this is actually something that a lot of people experience. And then take the bevy away, you go back into normal life, then suddenly you have the Monday to Friday disconnect where you're both a bit tired, you're a bit rough, you're a bit in your own head. Then you get to the weekend again, it's rinse and repeat. And this has been one of the biggest things that we are now working on. And I've always said this, whenever you remove alcohol, it is going to show you where you need to work on things. It is going to show you the areas that you need to improve. And this is, for me, becoming a dad, right? I've never struggled with work ethic. It's never been something I've ever had to worry about. When it comes to work, when it comes to business, I'll always get shit done. Like, I'll never waste time. For example, if the client cancellation today, I'm doing this in between. It's like, cool, how can I fit more in? Never struggled with training. I've actually done a video talking about how I've had to actually pull my training back again, because the big thing, I said family, business are the priority. Training was starting to take over again. It's been brilliant in terms of my energy and my mental headspace. But it will show you all of your problems. It will shine a light on everything. And this is where I think a lot of people could benefit massively. And I'm never going to be a go sober guy. Like, I don't think a lot of people should. But see, these breaks, it does show you where you're falling short. And for me, I realised that relationships have never actually been a huge strong point for me. And I think as guys, right, guys will go out do a lot of blaming women for being mental, blaming them for fucking giving them a hard time. But I look and I'm like, right, cool, well, Shannon wasn't giving me a hard time. She was actually probably, I would say, more along the lines of putting pressure on me to step up a wee bit. And I think as guys, especially when there's kids involved, we think we're the dog's balls because we work, because we train, but the reality is, see, if you're not showing up emotionally, if you're not showing up with actual presence, if you're not showing up the way you should, if you're not able to like actually be emotionally available, so many guys are just emotionally switched off, and then they wonder why their relationship, especially when there's kids involved, isn't the way that they want. Mate, these things are, it's actually showing you what you need to sort. And that was the big thing for me, right? Achieving goals, no issue. But actually being there, actually being able to express myself, express how I felt, where it blown up, totally different story. So mate, have a think about yourself, like, where are you with alcohol? Because I've met so many people where they go, I'm never drinking again, right? And it just comes from a place of pain, it comes from a place of panic, because they're doing things they don't want to do. And this time I kind of threw an experiment of, I'm not going to drink until I'm 40, but it's not an experiment with a deadline. It's more like, that's the minimum I'm going to do it for. And I'm just going to enjoy and see what the process brings in terms of growth, in terms of development, show me what I need to sort. But mate, where are you in that journey in terms of, have you ever done a period without booze? Because see, if you haven't, you probably don't really know yourself. That's something I would debate with anybody. If you've constantly drank your whole life, you probably aren't really that aware of who you are. You're probably a bit lost. I guarantee you probably got a lot of self-doubt, you're probably stuck in your own head a lot. You probably actually have chronic overthink, but you probably don't realise because you drink regularly. And this is what I mean, see, if you take that away, it shows you your problems. I remember the last time that I went booze free, which was in the lead up to I'll being born, that's when I realised that how much I was an overthinker, how much I couldn't switch off at work, how much stress got on top of me. And that was cool, that's the problem I need to sort. This time it showed me about the relationship, and it's like, cool, that's the problem I need to sort. And I just feel like, see, from a perspective of growth, it's one of the best things you'll ever do. It will shine a light on everything, it will show you what needs to change. And then the reality is, right, it then comes back to, are you willing to do the work to change it? Are you willing to do what's uncomfortable? Because guys are willing to do uncomfortable, for example, maybe when it comes to work, right? Most guys are driven by money, so they'll do the uncomfortable when it comes to work, but when it maybe comes to, like, is it maybe your fitness? Is it maybe your mental health? Is it maybe your relationship? I don't know. It could be, are you willing to do the uncomfortable there? Because quite often we do what's comfortably uncomfortable. So for me, comfortable uncomfortable is throw myself into a big training goal or throw myself into a business goal. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but I'm comfortable in that discomfort. Whereas throw me into a relationship, having to navigate that, having to navigate the challenge of being with somebody, of trying to show up and be, how would I put it, don't want to say nice, but be there for somebody, be able to express myself to somebody, be able to be calm when somebody else's emotions get high. Those are things that were very alien to me, and things that I've definitely struggled with. So that is my next phase of growth. So mate, from your perspective, the things I would ask you is, do you know where you need to change to grow? And number two, like, have you ever done a period of no booze? Like, and I'm not here, like, I'm not a sober coach. I do believe that guys have really destructive habits around booze. That's the big thing that had to change for me. It was still a lot of destruction. That's not there anymore. Like, I'm pretty comfortable in that. But I would be asking you those questions, mate, because that is probably, everybody's obsessed by growth. That is probably your next level of growth is, mate.